This is part of the Kikuyu Reserve, the chief trouble center in Kenya, where for many months the Mau Mau have held loyal Africans in a grip of terror. To Fort Hall, a lonely outpost in the heart of the reserve, comes Major General Hind, the Director of Operations against the terrorists, to inspect the men whose job it is to track down the murderers and bring them to justice. Kikuyu hutments have been taken over as command posts, and in one of these, Major General Hind checks up his campaign tactics with local officers. These outposts are in perpetual danger from the Mau Mau, who creep in from the countryside to attack the loyal villagers. General Hind surveys the vast area where terrorists are known to be in hiding, while overhead an aircraft keeps up the search. In the rough forest land below, the Mau Mau wait until nightfall. Kikuyu Home Guard, who are doing magnificent work, greet the general as he continues his tour. The fact that the Mau Mau draws many members from the Kikuyu itself tends to thrust into the background the firm loyalty of the vast majority of these men. At Achichi, deep in the danger area, they build stockades against the terrorists who have vowed to kill all who assist the white man. In talks with leading tribesmen through an interpreter, General Hind pays tribute to their efforts to cleanse their country from the evil. The Kikuyu, with the full support of British forces, are now using methods proved successful in Malaya. Meanwhile, the situation is still grave, and the Secretary of State for the Colonies, Mr. Oliver Littleton, flies in to Nairobi. Sir Evelyn Baring, the Governor, and Nairobi's Mayor wait to greet him. Mr. Littleton will spend a week in Kenya discussing the emergency with the men at the top to prepare a report on the Mau Mau for submission to Her Majesty's government.
To the little town of Nairi in Kikuyu territory, Kenya police bring the biggest prize of the anti-terrorist campaign, Dedan Kimathi, self-styled field marshal of the Mau Mau organization. Kimathi was wearing a leopard skin jacket and cap, half disguise, half uniform, when they ambushed and wounded him. His capture followed weeks of planning. The Assistant Police Commissioner explains to pressmen how the net was tightened and the trap finally sprung. Police Corporal Wanjoni on the left was in command of the ambush, and tribal policeman Ndirangu on the right fired the shot which brought the terrorist leader down. 500 pounds was the price on Dedan Kimathi's head, and it's expected to go to the man who wounded him. Kimathi will be charged with carrying a lethal weapon, a capital offense in Kenya today. His capture will have a great psychological effect, for the Mau Mau leaders still at large are only small fry. Without Kimathi, Mau Mau's days are numbered.
A great many Africans who were loyal to the government during the emergency are fearful of what would happen to them if you were released. Are there any grounds for those fears?
There's no ground at all. Neither those who were in the forest nor those who were royal or home guard have anything to fear at all, because I think all of them are brothers and sisters.
Mr. Kenyatta, some of the 60,000 European settlers here are frightened that their titles to land and their right to stay in Kenya may be thrown overboard when a Kenyan administration takes over.
Well, I don't think they have anything to fear, providing that they behave as a good citizen.
But what we have to do is to see how many of these problems, which are constitutional, we can solve in our discussions here. And the more successful we are in that task, the closer we shall be to a state where the people of Kenya have full control over their own destiny.
Looking back today, I am glad to be able to say that KANU is proud of its contribution at this conference. We are fully prepared to cooperate in the task ahead and invite all other parties and sections to work with us in this noble task. It is necessary that I state clearly at this juncture that KANU shall not tolerate any effort or maneuver to slow down Kenya's independence.